Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, this is a stringing machine, as you can probably tell by certain things, but it's also a relic. I've never seen one like this before. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so my buddy Benji said, I got a stringing machine. I was like, good, what kind? They're like, oh, you would love this thing. I'm like, okay, but I need help. Like, what kind of help? I'm like, bringing it in. Like, why? How much does it weigh? Like, probably over 100 pounds. I'm thinking like, do I really want it? Because the wife's gonna kill me. So it's here now. I helped him out of the car with it. And here's the thing. This is why it weighs so much. Look at these two weights right there. One, I think, weighs 30 and the other one weighs 10. And my right foot is on a foot pedal. So this is supposedly going to put tension on each of the strings. So as I'm doing this, I'm gonna show you this. This is the gripper, right? So this is moving. All right, so that the thing goes up, as I let go, it pulls back. So that's why it weighs so much, because of the leverage that it takes for those weights. The clamping mechanism looks pretty modern. I've started on a Echelon H, and it looks very similar to the clamping system that it has. The posts are screw-ins. Let's see where this is from. Look, this is tight. This is tight. Ugh. I'm literally pushing it. So it says Serrano Know-All Stringer. Tennis Machines Company, made in St. Louis, Missouri, USA. So those of you who know or don't know, this is an awl, okay? The olden times in which they strung rackets was they needed this, right? So you would literally, I'll go here as an example. You tie this around a thing, you pull the tension on here, you stick the awl in the hole with the string to hold the tension, kind of just like that. And there were two tensions, tight or tighter, okay? And that was it. You couldn't say, hey, I want 52. Yeah, there's no 52 here, okay? So that's how it used to be strung, and that's why it says know all, right? Meaning know this. But we have this to pull tension. Now, I don't really want to mess with this because I really don't know what I'm doing yet. So let's wait for Benji. All right, so Benji has arrived, and this is your machine. How did you get this machine?
I got this machine from a neighbor that we lived down the street from in about 1987, and she had 5 boys who played tennis, Sue Fisher, and she told me she wasn't using a stringer anymore, so we just rolled it down the hill to our house.
And it's been yours since?
It's been my stringer since 1987.
So here's the interesting thing. People who get these usually use it maybe until they're done with high school or whatever, and then kind of throw it in the garbage can.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't do that. You told me you still use it today.
I still used it today. My mom kept it at her house, and so I would go to visit her, and when I would visit her, I would chat with her and string rackets, and mostly my rackets. And it was something sort of just to do, and she also didn't want to get rid of it. So she had a tough time, one of those people who just had a tough time getting rid of things once they were in her house. And
I am too.
So I had to wait for her to move into the assisted living facility before I was able to get it out of her house.
Got it. So Benji and I took it out of the truck and brought it here. This thing probably weighs about 100 pounds.
Or more.
Or more. So I can understand why we wouldn't want to be moving this. But show me around the machine.
Sure. So in terms of the machine, this is the adjustment for the length of the rackets. So first thing you do is turn this, and then once we turn this, we can adjust the length of the mounting point, and so we can actually get a racket on here. And
we got Benji's pro staff here.
So, and it's got these wing nuts as well that are used to hold the racket on. But the first thing we got to do is get the machine to the right length. It doesn't work with really, really long rackets, maybe like 110, but anything about 100 inches, 105, it'll be fine. And so we get it adjusted to about the right length. The racket fits on there. And then the next thing we do is tighten this nut right here. And once that's tight, you can see that this doesn't move.
Right.
And so the next thing we do is we mount it. And so get it in the center spot, a little hole in the racket, and put the first clamp on it. And tighten the wing nut to get it on. And I think these were made originally to string the Woodies. So right. I don't know that they really ever expected these things to be stringing modern rackets, but whoever built it did a good job because it lasted a really long time. And then get the second side mounted right in the middle and get the clamp on it. I remember with my stepfather, these didn't have anything here, and so this was a custom thing where we cut a grip apart, and we glued it on so that it wouldn't. When I first got these clamps, you can see they were just metal. And metal probably worked well on wood rackets, right? Yep. But on graphite rackets, they didn't work well. So we put some leather there just to protect the racket. And then we clamp it down. And then the next most important thing is you got to know what the person's tension is, right? And so if we look down here, you can see that it actually has etching marks around sort of what the actual tension is. And we're going to string my racket about 45 pounds, and so we've put it at the 45-pound mark. But if you're going to change the tension, what you do is you loosen these weights. And these are heavy weights. Harry and I picked these up, and they are not light. And you just move this back and forth. You can see that it was on the 45 mark. So we're going to get it back to the 45 mark. And then tighten it. And before this, just to make sure everything worked okay, I used to have a tension meter from Gamma, and we tested this on the machine just to make sure that the tension was accurate per the bottom. And then really it's just like a normal stringer in that it's got regular clamps that you clamp just like a regular stringer, clamp and unclamp. And then you pull the tension through here, kind of like the Ekkelong stringer, and we'll grabs the string, and then to pull the tension, this is where the big difference is. We lift up, we push the pedal
with the weight,
and the weight comes up, and then we let it down with our foot until it balances. And sort of sometimes with certain strings you have to pull twice. But most modern strings you only have to pull once. But certainly I remember gut or certain strings that you had to pre-pull. We would have to pre-stretch string, but we don't have to do that now with modern strings. And that's really it. We got our tension, we got our clamp. These clamps are eventually going to switch, so they eventually have to be pulled off. So this comes off, this is the main clamp. It's going to eventually get pulled off and become a side clamp. So it comes off here.
To do the crosses.
And then becomes to do the crosses. But right now we're going to be doing just the main. We'll start with the mains. And so this goes back and forth this way to hold on to the strings.
Now, you said something about making a modification here.
Yeah, so when I first bought this stringer, the way that you would hold tension here is you would pull the string and there was a lever. We could probably find a picture of it on the internet. I don't think I have the original thing. And then I found this company, Tennis Machines, has been servicing tennis racket stringers for almost 100 years, and they were the manufacturer of this Serrano machine. And they sold me a call them a modification, and it really helps string much faster, because now all you have to do is pull the string back, grab it, and let it go. Whereas before, when the stringer first came, you had to pull it down, and then pull it back, and then when you were done, you also had to lift up the thing. The spring-loaded tension, I don't know what this is called, but the spring-loaded tension clamp really makes pulling much, much quicker.
Right. So you modernized this, because my Echelon H from the 80s was just like this.
Yes. Not only did I modernize this, but they also sold me modern clamps. So the original clamps also, I think, required sort of a turn, like a 90-degree turn. These ones were sort of more modern clamps where you can pull it to the side like this, or you can pull it down, versus the only way the old ones worked is you had to, I think, pull it and turn it. Right. And so these also, these modern clamps also speed up the stringing time. So those were two modernizations versus, the base of the machine. Obviously the weights, all those things didn't change throughout the history of the ownership of the machine.
Perfect. Okay, so we are ready. Are we ready to string?
We're ready to string.
Okay. So let's take your string, which is Luxlon Smart.
Discontinued but replaced by Elements, is my understanding. But I think I bought a number of sets of these many years ago. And I guess the fast way to do this is probably just to clip this. Although I can also.
There you are.
Oh, perfect.
We can leave it right there, because you're going to show me what we're doing.
So just like any other normal stringer, we're going to get this thing going. We're going to come in from that, since this is a Pro Staff frame, we're going to come in from the top, come into the bottom. I gotta get over here so you can see. And then I don't know if you have a technique, or if Harry's got a technique for this, but you got to figure out how much strings you need. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Enough. So we've got 1 here, so we need enough for 7. So I'll pull this through and then measure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not enough. A little bit more. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. I'll give myself a little bit more slack. Alright. And then start by clamping it here. And then we'll do the first pull. So go ahead and get our tension on. Tension go. And now it's just like any stringing. Regular stringer. I usually do 4 strings on each side, so left and right. You normally cut this to measure it like halfway when you do it yours, or do you sort of just like do it? I usually you only cut mine like at the end.
Oh, I cut 50-50 immediately.
Oh, you do? Yeah, that probably would have been a smarter thing to do.
That's okay. You do you. Everybody has their own little techniques.
That would have saved me a little bit of time here.
Did somebody teach you how to string?
I think me and my stepfather figured it out, like, and I don't remember exactly like how, but I think because there was certainly no YouTube back then. I'm sorry. I actually don't remember exactly how we figured out how to string. And I eventually like took like, a class to be like a USRSA certified stringer.
Yes.
And so I signed up for the United States like Racket Stringers Association.
Right.
And sort of did all that. And that, by the way, is a lifetime certification. So
yep, that's correct.
I became a lifetime certified stringer. So I was taught to sort of like put a little piece of string here, so that it basically doesn't damage the grommet. So that gets the knot tight and actually held enough tension. So now we'll switch from the main and we'll go down to the crosses.
You can also go upstairs.
I'll tie the second knot here too. Another interesting thing about this is at some point these clamps have to be flipped around to the other direction. Otherwise things get a little tight on this. So towards the end of the racket, the cross clamps have to be flipped around.
That's so cool. And I like that you actually straighten out every cross while you go along too. So that actually keeps the tension maintenance very well.
Yeah, that was something I think I was taught at some point, like the combination of like pulling the string so you don't get the burn down, but then also like pulling the strings up so it looks clean too.
Right.
Doing that. I don't know if you're gonna try and use it once, Harry. I feel like you gotta give it a try. You gotta give it a try, right?
I might throw my racket on there later. I want to see how accurate it is first, though. ERT machine.
Uh-oh. So just like any other stringer, we take that clamp off.
That took you pretty fast, actually. I would say that's like 20-minute racket right there.
Yeah, I feel like I used to be able to do them even like, quicker. But let's see what does the machine say?
Let's see. Let's see.
Good afternoon.
29 dynamic tension.
And what does that mean? Are we gonna compare that to the other machine?
Let's see. It just tells me if I'm active, like so it tells me the tension of the stretch.
Okay.
It gets converted into pounds with this. So 29 on a mid plus is 42 pounds.
Okay.
And we set it at what?
45-ish?
Yep.
Yeah, about 45.
Let's try it again, just in case. Nope, that's it. That's what it is.
Okay. We can also do the sound test once we have
Oh,
the rackets trying on the modern machine, just to see how they whether they sound similar or sound. Although I feel like the modern strings don't have the same. Well, it's got a little bit of the twang to it.
Yeah,
So we
a
can
little more ping noise. Okay, so we're gonna
So the other thing I'd always like just check was to do the visual check to make sure I hadn't like ever, you know,
over.
Yes, exactly.
Under.
Exactly. And usually I feel like when I was younger, you could see that pretty obviously. Like you could, it would be pretty obvious to the naked eye.
I check the corners. Like if this is
Yeah.
up and up 3 ups, right?
Yeah.
Should be right.
Okay.
Right. As long as you check over here, it's the same thing. Up, and up. Those are probably good. And then I check these 3. Up, and up. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, you did a good job. It's perfect. Oh, it's good tension. Okay. All right, let's try this on a modern.
Let's try it on a modern machine. So when was this machine made, Harry?
This is about 10 years old. So.
Have there been any other enhancements in racket stringing technology in the last 10 years?
I mean, a lot of the stuff has to do with hydraulics and ergonomics. You know, like with the Biardo coming up and facing you so that you're here,
right,
versus constantly in the flat position, hunched over.
Can you lift this up and down to match your height?
Yes, there is a way. There's clickings. I could lift it up to however tall I want to be.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty easily. So look, see how fast this is. Right, what I'm doing is I'm moving these out with this. So these are coming out to tighten this. And then the 6 point here, I'm tightening these. And so it's 6 points all contacting. And
there's no top clamp here. It's just
no,
the tension on the back.
Pressure,
yeah.
but these are locking.
Right, those lock in, yeah.
So.
And how do you make sure those don't, I think those don't block the holes because they've got little space. Nice. You made the smart decision to pre-cut.
I cut it in half already. And I set it at 45 pounds. You feel.
All right, let's see. Sounds good. Oh yeah, this one sounds tighter.
Let's see it. We'll see the tighter one, or let's see the one we just did. Right here. 32.
Oh wow.
Let's drop it.
That's a pretty big difference.
Double check. $32.
So now, does that match to the 45 tension?
Let's see. 1 and 2. It's 47.
47. Interesting.
So it's a little tighter.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting.
When it breathes a little bit, it'll probably drop into that 45 though.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. So the Serrano, which we tested with the Gamma at 45, came out at about 42 according to the dynamic tension. Mm-hmm. And this one came out at, according to the dynamic tension, at 47.
47. And these are fresh off the machine.
Yeah,
so
fresh off the machine.
As you're going to
get. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to play with them, and shoot, you already know what's what.
Well, we can do a change them up and do a dynamic taste test, which I would be happy to do. And you can put a marking somewhere that tells us the one strung by you and the one strung by the Serrano. But I think it's very clear that that this machine sort of lost some tension. Mm-hmm. And even watching your technique, I could see a few things that would have caused that to happen. One was how close the clamps can get to the edge. I think that's one big thing. Two was the fact that the clamps lock in on the bottom. I think that's another actually big difference. I mean, I don't think these slip, but I do think that is a potential difference. The third is sort of the way you tied your knots. I think you lose less tension, although I think on the top knot I wouldn't have lost tension, but I think on the side knot, both of the side mains, I think I didn't. I'd lose a little bit of tension there. And what were the other
The constant pull.
The constant pull, right.
Keep pulling until it's going to hold tension no matter what.
Right.
So as soon as it feels it losing anything, it's going to pull more.
Although I would think this should do the same, because even when when I let my foot off of it,
that's actually true.
This is constant tension as well, because like if it saw anything, it would the weights just even out.
It'll just keep drawing it back. So that's true. That's actually, it's not a lockout. So the one with the pin, when the pin pops out, it just holds.
Right.
That. So this actually is not like that. This will actually keep backing, like keep pulling it
until it evens out with the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing the machine.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad I was able to string with you. That was so fun.
Yeah, that was fun, and I learned a number of new stringing techniques as well. And hopefully, this machine will have an additional life.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely going to use it here as a museum piece, and maybe I'll string on it once in a while. But I would say just go ahead and try them as is.
Yeah.
You don't need to do a blind test. The one thing I want you to notice is, obviously you may feel a slight difference in the beginning, but I want you to see the loss in the tension over time and how fast it goes.
Do you think that the different stringing machines would make a difference in that at all?
I think it's a little bit, because this is going to keep... It's a true tension. As you saw, it pulled to 47 when we asked for 45, and yours pulled at 42. So the pull wasn't quite as strong.
Yeah.
Therefore, maybe the going back and losing the tension may be faster.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Right? So
cool. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, baby. Yeah. All right. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.